Most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Huerblad isn't the phone in his hand, it's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID, or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden, more than anywhere else, the future is already here.
You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
Shalom, this your boy Rayala coming at you with another lesson. But first and foremost, we definitely gotta give all praise to the Heavenly Father and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. We're gonna start off by saying, Call Halayim Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Ha Rekah Kodash Ma'amah. Definitely want to give double honors to the apostles of GMS and their elders. Definitely want to give honors to my elder Ahar Wamban Yasha Olive, the Lions Den Camp, located in Jacksonville, Florida. Shalom to the sincere Aki Akwaki, and I believe in sincerity and the truth. Shalom. Today's lesson is going to be based off the M.O.T.B, right? Because the elite think they slick, right? Because they're coming out with all kind of different ways to implement the M.O.T.B worldwide, right? Because that's prophecy in Revelation 13:16, right? How the M.O.T.B will be pushed worldwide because as we see the dollar is crashing, it's going to be a new type of currency, a new digital currency, and the only way to be able to survive in Esau's system during that time is being micro C-hipped and having that inserted into you, and with that you'll be able to continue to buy and sell and live out your life in Esau's system, right? But the scriptures tell you the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, warned us not to take the M.O.T.B because basically you're not only just worshiping the system and following the system of Esau, right? You're actually turning your body into a cyborg type body, right? Something that can be tracked at all times, something that's may have gained a few advantages. Maybe like some people to get brain implants because they can't walk anymore, and these implants we connected to their brain and to their spine to help and they'll be able to get up and walk, right? Instead of people actually relying on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to heal them, right? To bring, like the scriptures say, Yahushai showing up with healing in his wings, right? That instead of them waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they're running to Egypt, running to Esau for help, so they can walk again, or so they can whatever issue they was having with their body, they'll be able to gain that strength back into that particular body part once they get neuralinked, right? So I just played a clip going into the RFID, CHIP, right? As we see, Sweden is already most of their population has already been tagged, and people walk around. They have already received the M.O.T.B, so they're able to walk around and buy and sell with their RFID, CHIP, right? Which is going to cause them to be destroyed, right? The heathens and any Israelites that that are over there that receive that tag or that mark, right? Which ultimately means that they're part of the 2/3. They're not part of the 1/3 and the 144 hopeful elect, right? So this article reads, it says, what to know about Elon Musk Neuralink, which put an implant into a human brain. It says Elon Musk says his ambitious plan, Salaki, ambitious plan to let humans wirelessly connect their brains with phones and other devices have taken a new step. It says announcing that the first human has received a brain implant from his Neuralink company. Right. So as you see, it says Elon Musk says his ambitious plan to let humans wirelessly connect their brains with phones and other devices have taken a new step. So this is why when you go through Revelation 13 and 16, it gives you three different things. It tells you the mark of the beast, the name of the beast, and the number of the beast. Because the elite think they're smart. They see that everybody is waking up to the um, micro CHIP. And we see people all throughout America making comments about not taking that. But America, the wicked elite know how to trick the foolish and the ones that's walking in the darkness. Even if they do know about the M.O.T.B, doesn't mean that they won't end up receiving it or taking it, because these elites are trying their damnedest to come up with new and different ways um, to get this implemented and they get this pushed. So just like the Elon Musk, just like it says, it has taken new steps, announcing that the first human has received a brain implant from his Neuralink company. All right, so now they're with the, or at least with this, right? He's now performing on humans, right? Doing this surgery and adding that CHIP to the people's head, right? And in the past, I believe I read an article where a person had received a CHIP, and was able to walk again. This person was paralyzed, and they put it into his spine, and he was able to walk again, right? So you pretty much just basically being digitized, right? Linking your body is being linked to an actual computer, right? And at any given time, they really could control you if they wanted to. Even though I'm sure that's not what they're telling you, but I'm sure later on in the future, right, when this is like really has been implemented throughout the world, they'll be able to tap in and make you do anything they want you to do, right? Because your body no longer belongs to you, right? Your body now belongs to the system, right? But as far as something like the actual RFID being implemented into you, right now they're coming up with new ways, right? So let me show you a new way. All right, this article says Dr. Curtis D. Ward, articles and papers by Invisible RFID. So I can move that out of the way. RFID tattoo plan for humans. It says invisible ink under UV light. It says while many of us were sweating over the concept of chips being implanted in humans, right? As I was saying earlier, so they're hip to the actual CHIP being the M.O.T.B, right? Even though IUIC teaches something different, right? Which is pure foolishness, right? So people across the world even know, and even Americans know, people that are not part of the elect, right? The actual heathens and the wicked actually know about the M.O.T.B, right? For one, because Apostle Tahar and GMS has been pushing this for years, and then for two, people hearing the apostles and going out and spreading that message as well, right? So they're hip to this now. So now that the elite's trying to come up with new all kind of ways to get this basically get this train rolling, right? But Yahweh Shem Shai covered it all. He covered all of it, right? And I'm gonna get into that. So it says invisible RFID tattoo plan for humans. While many of us were sweating over the concept of chips being implanted in humans, another company was working on an invisible ink with which two tattoos with which to tattoos both humans and animals. So now they're able to just like how they tattoo your animal when you spade them or when you take them in, so they can be CHIP. Uh, they're not going to be doing that on humans. Right? It's by hitting them with an invisible tattoo ink, and within this ink, it has a few characteristics. Right, so it says, so Mark Innovators has successfully developed a CHIP, a chipless biocompatible RFID, and has tested its product on cattle and laboratory rats using micro needles. Right, again, this is still being something pricked into your skin. Right, anybody knows when you receive a tattoo, it's actually being, it's still being pricked into your skin. Right, it's not just something that you can, like slap on your arm, like a washable tattoo. Right, this is actually something like ink going into your skin directly. Right, it says using micro needles and an ink capsule, the skin is tattooed with an invisible ink. Although the tattoo cannot be seen by human eye, it can presently be detected as far as 4 feet away. It takes a mere 5 to 10 seconds to stamp or tattoo an animal, and the ink remains in the skin. Right. So imagine all hell break loose. Right, as the scriptures say, civil war. Um, war coming to this country. Right. All, like I said, all hell breaking loose, and the government pushes out this M.O.T.B, basically saying if you don't have it, they're either gonna kill you, they're gonna imprison you, or they're it's no telling, but you're probably gonna get hit with the guillotine, right? Get your head chopped off, right? As the scriptures say. So what's the fastest way they can implement this to the whole country, right? During a mass civil war, or during a mass war over here in the states, right? Tattoos will be the fastest way. As I said, it only takes 5 to 10 seconds. So they're going to literally be having, just like during the time of the lockdown, right? And people lining up in those lines, right? They're going to literally have the same setup to where people can come and get a 5 to 10 second tattoo, not understanding that actually goes into the M.O.T.B as well, right? So the actual tattoo of it, the Neuralink, and the actual grain of rice being inserted into you, the RFID being inserted directly into you. All right, so let's continue reading. It says, Information Week reported the U.S. Department of Agriculture calls for a 15-digit number or track to track cattle. Right, so again, the number of the beast, right? The mark, the name, and the number. Right, it says information, which the number goes into chi stigma 666. Right, and we're gonna get into that and what the etymology, though, the root word of those chi stigma means. Right, it says the U.S. Department of Agriculture calls for a 15-digit number to track cattle. The first 3 digits are 840 for the U.S. country code. The remaining digits are unique identifiers. The numbers will link to a database containing more information. Scientist Mark said that it is safe for both animals and people, and plans to license the RFID invisible tattoo to be used on military personnel. Right, so here we go. And once the military gets it, right, eventually we get it. Just like, and I'm not saying we, like, we know the elect is not going to be foolish enough to take the M.O.T.B, right? We're not dumb to Satan's crafty inventions, right? Rough paraphrasing, basically. So if the military receives something, they're going to push it on the people later on, right? So just like night vision, right? The military received night vision, then a few years later, the public was able to buy night vision, stuff like that. So once the military gets hit with it, you best believe it's a chain reaction. So it says, he said that the ink could be used to track and rescue soldiers. He further commented it could help identify friends or foes. See, as I was just saying, right? During the time of Civil War, during the time of actually war on the streets of this country, right? That actual invisible ink or the RFID, right, can be used to let people know, hey, look, are you a friend or a foe, right? Are you supposed to be here? Or are you not supposed to be here? And that's what it's going to be used for. It says prevent friendly fire and help save soldiers' lives. It's a very scary proportion when you're dealing with humans, but with military personnel, we're talking about saving soldier lives, and it may be something worthwhile. It can say where it has been, who it has talked to, who it has eaten with, and who else it has been in contact with, he added. So it's tracking all of that. It can say where it has been, right? So your locations. It says who it has talked to, right? You listening to your conversations, probably recording your conversations. If that person is RFID'd up, right, it probably sends a signal back and forth to each other. This person talked to this person at such time, because it's recording and tracking signals, right? O or the I, right, on or off, constantly, right? The binary code. All right, so that's just like what they use for computers. It says and that's pretty much it, man. I'm not gonna continue in this part. Let's get some scriptures. All right, let's get a little bit of understanding on the mark, right? Because when you're reading about the mark in the scriptures, right, you got to understand which mark means what, right? Because Revelation 13 and 16 mark is different from Ezekiel's 9 and 4 mark. So I want to grab this first to kind of show you what this mark is talking about compared to Revelation 13, right? Because one is a mark of destruction, and one is a mark of salvation, basically a mark from exemptment, basically, right? Making you exempt from destruction, right? So this is Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it reads, right, and I'm gonna go down to 6 so you can kind of understand the point. Right, it says, and the Lord Yahweh, because every time you see Lord in all caps, that's where his name goes, right? And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, right? So you have to go into the etymology of these words to understand what you're reading, right? But also you need the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to be on you as well, and to have a good teacher, a proper teacher that's blessed through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? So let's click on this and get the etymology of the word mark, right? So so mark in the Hebrew.
Strong's H8420. Tav. Tav.
All right, it says desire, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. Right, so it's a mark of basically being exempt from judgment. All right, keeping you from being destroyed. Right, and it's really the wa. Right, so root word. So let's get it.
Strong's H8427. Tava. Tava.
The wa. Right, so it says to scrabble, limit, mark, make or set a mark. Right, a mark of exemptment. Right, it says all right, so it says go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark, right? A mark of exemptment, of exemption, right? Being right, keeping you from that destruction. So anybody that receives this mark, right, is going to be spared, basically. And it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. Right? For those who feel like Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is all love, right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai don't play no games. It's based off of his will. Right? As he's saying here, go kill all the young, both maids and little children and women. Right? It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. So any man that's marked with this mark, with the mark of the Wa, right, would basically be exempt from the judgment. It says, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, right, going about destroying the ones that wasn't marked with the Tawah, right. So now that you have that understanding, let's go to Revelations and let's get into the M.O.T.B. Revelation 13 and 16, and it reads. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Right. So let's go into that a little bit. Let's go into that word mark. All right. Charagma.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right. Let's go into the root word. All right.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Right. So it says a pale or a stake, a palisade, right? So, all right. All right. Palisade.
Palisade.
All right. It says a fence of wooden stakes or iron railings fixed in the ground, right, forming an enclosure or defense. So it's a stake, right? Almost kind of like a syringe, right? So let's see. It says down the Strong's definition. It says to sharpen to a point, a skin to through the idea of scratching a stake. Right, now let's click on G 1125. So like Strong's definition, it says a primary verb to grave, especially to write. Right, it says outline of biblical usage to write. Right, so this charagma can literally be tattooed into you, right? Because they're using those palisades, right? Those micro needles to puncture your skin to put that invisible tattoo, right, into your skin, right? And then when you go into as we was reading about the actual charagma itself, right, going into the actual stake, something being inserted into you, right? So it says, and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, to receive the charagma, right? So it's different from what you read in Ezekiel 9, right? This is actually something that's going to be put into you physically, right? This is a physical mark, right? As we were just going through the definitions, right, and the etymology of the word, right? Charagma being something like a palisade, that's something that they are going to stick into you, right? Like it says, a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? So when you click on the etymology again, it says a pale or stake, a palisade, right? So this is something that they're going to use to actually stick something into you, right? The charagma, right? So when they mark you with with that, it's going to go into the body. It says, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So this mark is going to actually be something that they're going to receive, right? With with the stake or something that's going to be basically, or it's like a syringe, right? Or the micro needles that they use to put tattoos, right? So this is a physical marking, right? Being tagged, right? You basically tagged like the cattle. It said, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? So that's Yahweh Bashem Yahushua covered all three. He covered all three. No matter what no matter what they try to do to change the M.O.T.B, right, to confuse people, to make them end up taking it, right? It's still here in the scriptures telling you that you can't take the mark, the name, or the number, right? The name going into the system itself, right? And the actual number going into more so like the barcode of the system, right? Like when what's his name, Bill Gates came out with barcodes, right, for the first Mac computer. It had started with 666 was the barcode number, right? So it's just an example on the actual number, right? Verse 18, it says, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number, see, is the number of a man, right? All this stuff belongs to men, right? To Esau, right? This is not of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and this is why anybody that receives this will be destroyed, right? This is not the mark that you read about in Ezekiel 9 and 4. Right, this is the charagma. This is not the mark, meaning Thawa. Right, it says, and his number is 636. Right, so let's get into that. Right.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Xi, stigma. Chi, Xi, stigma.
All right. Let's go into the root word. It's like stigma.
Strong's G 4742. Stigma. Stigma.
All right. So it says outline of biblical usage. A mark pricked in, and that's the key point. Pricked in, right? Pricked into what? Just like a tattoo, right? Those micro needles being pricked into your skin, right? And printing that number of the onto your skin, whatever number they're gonna give that person at that time. Just like they have a number for the cattle, and the first three numbers started with, I think it says 084, and then the rest of the numbers is the characteristics of that animal, right? It's the same thing. So the tattoos, the invisible tattoos that they're gonna be using to mark people with, right, with the charagma, with the M.O.T.B is going to be, it could be starting with the Kaisai stigma 666, right? But that's actually going into something being pricked into your body or branded upon the body, right? And so when you tattoo somebody, you're branding them, right? And when you tattoo somebody, you're actually marking them with pricks, right? You're pricking their skin to inject that invisible ink all the way into their skin directly, which will never fade away. It says that's pretty much the point, though. It says down the Strong's definition, it says stigma from a primary, right, to stick, i.e. prick, right. It says a mark and seized or punched, right. So something being punched into you, right. So just wanted to go into that to show you that, for one, they think they're getting slick, trying to come up with different ways to start pushing the M.O.T.B, but we're not stupid, right? The elect is not gonna fall for that. We understand that regardless of what form you bring it out in, rather it's a tattoo, rather it's the actual grain of rice, CHIP, like they're doing in Wisconsin, right, or Sweden, right? It can be it's all of those. It can be the Neuralink as well. All of those are part of the M.O.T.B. It's not just one form of it, right? Whoever, like it says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name, right? So the mark or the name of the beast or the number, right? So any form that it comes in, right? If you take this, you have now become a cyborg for Esau, where he can manipulate everything you do, control everything you do. You are no longer of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? You will be a cyborg, worshiping and praising on the system of Esau and doing the bidding of Esau, right? So again, it can be the Neuralink, right? Let me rephrase that. It is the Neuralink, the tattoo, and the RFID um, being inserted via a syringe, right? These are all physical, right? The M.O.T.B is a physical marking, right? So any one of those at this time, right, can lead you straight to destruction. If you receive the Neuralink, if you receive the tattoo, if you receive the actual syringe where they inject it into you, right, all of those are going to lead you to destruction. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua knoweth no man but the spirit of Yahweh. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh. Right. So I just wanted to bring that out because Yahweh Bashem Yahushua freely gave this to us, and we'll be fools to disregard his warnings. We'll be a fool to disregard his promises. We'll be a fool to disregard um, his doctrine, his ways, right? Right, but we're not fools to Satan devices, man. Right. So the ones that are part of this world, they're going to get caught up in the destruction because that's they are of their fathers, of the devil. Right. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11 says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Right. So the elect is not ignorant of his devices. Right. Hence why we're doing these videos about the M.O.T.B. Right, to warn the sheep. Right, to bring the sheep back to the sheepfold, to help them pass the test of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right, because if they fail that test, right, and they end up being fools, right, or being ignorant to Satan devices, right, they're basically falling into the pit with Esau. So again, we're not fools to Satan devices. We're not ignorant of his devices, man. Right, no matter how much they want to keep changing things, we're gonna always know the M.O.T.B when we see it, no matter if it's in tattoo form, Neuralink form, or the syringe form. Either way it go, we know it's something being pricked into the body, and without that, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to survive in the society of Esau during that time, right? But the elect are not ignorant to that, and we understand that we're going to be leaning on Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to get us through day-to-day things. We're not going to be worried about eating or buying or selling. We're not going to be worried about survival because we know we're going to be covered, right, through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So back at 1 Corinthians 2:11. Right, I start off, I'm going to go to 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh. Right, we have the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua on you, man. You're not going to be ignorant to the devices of Satan. Right, it says, but the spirit which is of Yahweh, that we, so like, let me start over. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit of which is of Yahweh, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh. So again, these things was given to us freely, right? So Yahweh Ratazada's lesson was edifying. Stay alert, stay diligent, pay attention to the signs that that we see happening, right? And keep your ears open, man, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is making chess plays out here, man, right? So keep your eyes and your ears open to the warnings that are coming from his true children, from the prophets, right? So again, Yahweh Ratazada's lesson was edifying. Ahapatah DTA. Shalom.